If you skip this story, you might miss the one idea that could completely change your life. Because this is not just another make money online story. This is about a man who went from absolute zero, no money, no backup, no hope, to crossing $1 million. And the most dangerous part is this: the exact moment his life changed was so small that most people ignore it every single day. So listen carefully, because somewhere in this story, there is a decision that could rewrite your entire future. He stood outside a closed gas station on the edge of Texas, staring at a flickering neon light that buzzed like it was struggling to survive, the cold wind hitting his face while his pockets were completely empty, not even a single dollar inside. His name was Daniel Carter, 27 years old, and his bank account showed exactly $0, not low, not struggling, completely finished. And the worst part was not the money, it was the silence. No calls, no messages, no one to help, just a phone notification flashing payment failed again and again, reminding him that rent was overdue, bills were piling up, and time was running out. Just a few months ago, he had a normal life, a small apartment, a basic warehouse job, a routine that felt boring but safe. And like most people, he used to say, "One day I'll do something big." But one day is the biggest lie people tell themselves, because one day turns into someday, and someday turns into never, and then suddenly reality hits you without warning, just like it hit Daniel when he received that one email that destroyed everything. Due to company restructuring, your position has been terminated. At first he thought it was temporary, but days turned into weeks, weeks turned into stress, stress turned into fear. And slowly everything he had built started collapsing. Savings gone, confidence gone, direction gone. That night outside the gas station, something inside him broke, but something else quietly woke up. Fear wrapped around him, heavy and suffocating, telling him this was the end. But underneath that fear, there was a strange curiosity, a dangerous question forming in his mind. What if losing everything is actually the beginning? Most people ignore that thought. Most people run back to comfort, to safety, to excuses. But Daniel didn't move. He stood there in the cold and made a decision that didn't feel powerful at the time, but it would change everything. The next morning, instead of panicking, he walked into a public library, not because he loved reading, but because it was warm, free, and had internet. He sat in front of an old computer, hesitated for a moment, and then typed something simple: how to make money online with $0. Thousands of results appeared. Videos, blogs, fake promises, confusing strategies. It was overwhelming. Dropshipping, freelancing, affiliate marketing, crypto. It felt like too much, like a maze with no exit. And for a moment he almost gave up. But then he realized something simple that most people never understand. You don't need to know everything. You just need one thing that works. He chose freelancing, not because it was easy, but because it required no money, only effort. The problem was he had no skills, no experience, no proof that anyone should trust him. And that's exactly where most people quit. That's where fear wins. But Daniel had already hit zero. He had nothing left to lose. So instead of quitting, he leaned in. He picked one skill: copywriting, the art of writing words that sell, even though he had never done it before. For the next 14 days he lived in that library, morning to night, watching tutorials, studying ads, rewriting sales pages, practicing again and again. His work was terrible at first, full of mistakes, weak, confusing, but he didn't stop. Every failure made him slightly better. Every mistake sharpened him, and slowly, without realizing it, he started improving. Fear didn't disappear, but it started losing control. On day 15, he did something that scared him more than anything else. He created his first freelancing profile. Zero experience, zero reviews, zero trust. It felt like exposing himself to the world with nothing to show. But he didn't wait to feel ready. He started sending proposals anyway. 10 messages, no reply. 20 messages, ignored. 50 messages, rejected. 100 messages, still nothing. Every rejection felt like proof that he was wasting his time. One client even told him, "You're not good enough." And that sentence stayed in his mind all night. Sitting alone in the dim corner of the library, staring at the screen, he felt that same fear returning, louder than before, telling him to stop, telling him to go back, telling him to be realistic. And for a moment, he almost listened. His fingers hovered over the laptop, ready to close it, ready to quit, ready to accept a small life. But then something unexpected happened. A quiet thought appeared, almost invisible. What if the next message changes everything? It didn't feel powerful. It didn't feel certain, but it was enough. So he sent one more, and that one changed everything. A small business owner replied. The job was simple. Write a product description, payment $15. To most people it meant nothing, but to Daniel it meant everything. His heart started racing. His hands were shaking. He treated that small job like it was $1 million opportunity. He rewrote it again and again, checking every word, imagining the customer, improving every line, and finally he sent it. Then came the waiting. Minutes felt like hours. Hours felt like days. And then suddenly a notification appeared. Great work. I'll hire you again. And in that moment something changed inside him forever. Not because of the $15, but because it proved one thing: he could do this. From there everything started to shift, slowly at first, then faster. He kept improving, kept learning, kept pushing through fear. $15 became $50. $50 became $200. Clients started coming back. Referrals started happening. Within 3 months he had a small rented room. Within 6 months he was making over $3,000 per month. No longer broke, no longer lost, but still not satisfied, because he realized something important. He was trading time for money, and time is limited. That realization scared him more than being broke, because it meant there was a ceiling. And that's when he made his next big move. He decided to build something of his own, a digital product. A simple course teaching beginners how to land their first freelance client. No audience, no followers, no budget, just belief and action. He launched it anyway. Day 1 0 sales, day 2 1 sale, day 3 3 sales. It wasn't big, it wasn't viral, but it was real. Then something unexpected happened. One beer shared it, then another. Slowly it started spreading, like a small spark turning into fire. Within 30 days he made over $10,000, and for the first time in his life, he saw what was possible. But success didn't remove fear, it made it bigger. What if it stopped? What if it failed? What if it was just luck? Those thoughts came back stronger than ever. But this time Daniel understood something most people never learn. Fear doesn't disappear when you succeed, it grows with you. And the only difference is whether you let it control you or use it as fuel. And he chose to use it. He reinvested everything, improved his product, learned marketing, built systems, ran ads, made mistakes, lost money, learned faster, scaled again. And then one day he looked at his screen and saw a number that didn't feel real. $1 million. He didn't scream. He didn't celebrate. He just sat there in silence, remembering that cold night outside the gas station, remembering the fear, the emptiness, the doubt. And he realized something powerful. He didn't become a millionaire because he was smarter or luckier. He became one because he didn't quit when everything told him to. Because he listened to a small voice most people ignore. What if this is just the beginning? And now the real question is not about him. It's about you. Right now you are listening to this, and maybe a part of you feels something. Fear, curiosity, maybe even hope. But here is the truth. There is no perfect time. There is only a decision. The same kind of decision a man made with $0 in his pocket, standing in the cold, with nothing but a question. And that question turned into $1 million answer. So now ask yourself, will you ignore this story like every other? Or will you become the next story people can't stop listening to?